from our studio every single Thursday. The Cash Compound has a couple of coaches who are going to sit right here in studio and walk and talk you through how to perform the infinite banking concept or becoming your own banker. So ask us questions. We'll tell you no lies. This is all about you, and we're focusing our thoughts on your family and how you can actually create a legacy, tax-free benefits, cash value growth, and money, more money each and every year for your family. All right.
Live on the Instagram.
We're definitely looking at the cover, sir. Flip the camera around. Okay, it's Jesse's first time seeing the internet here. We got him straight off the boat, Titanic, 1900s.
The Mayflower.
The Mayflower. Oh, my goodness. Now that's getting covered up because one of these is covering the camera.
That's what
you have to adjust that a little bit. Okay, so if you are out there on our TikTok page, click right here, the Cash Compound. You can follow us here, and down here in the corner you can share. But ask your questions about the infinite banking concept. Appreciate the follows. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one with one of us as coaches, you can click right here behind door number 1. It'll take you to our regular TikTok profile, and you can click the link in the bio. We've got a 60-minute video for you there, and we're going to help you understand what's really going on with the numbers. Right here, you can ask us questions, and we can help you understand it. Kind of a mental, visual, verbal picture right here. But if you want to see the numbers, we've got some built for you. By clicking that link, you can walk through a presentation with one of our coaches, Jonah, and he's going to help you understand how you can save your money and spend someone else's on cars. Save your money, spend someone else's on debt. Jesse, why don't you give a little introduction? We're going to be here. Jesse, get ready.
Sure. Fantastic. Okay. What's up, everybody? I am Jesse Durham, and I got exposed to this idea that you could save money and spend it at the same time in 2015. For me, my first thought was, this is our way to financial independence. This is our way to financial autonomy. And that meant first steps for us in getting one of these properly structured policies was to use that policy for paying off debts. We had about I'll round it up to $50,000 worth of debt. We had car loans, we had student loans, we had the credit cards. We just had that all-American spread of debt. And goal number 1 for us was get that stuff out of our life, free up a lot of our cash flow that was going to the Wells Fargos and the JP Morgans of the world so that we could think about legacy-oriented ideas that we had instead. So
that's right.
That's what we did. We paid off tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt using this concept.
So we're going to help you and answer some of your questions. Shout out to Michelle out there who's on our Zoom profile. Remember, each and every Thursday, you can click the events link and actually see our visuals, because today we're going to walk and talk through how we do this as dads, because we both have kids and families, and we thought this is the way to provide a legacy and a growing cash flow for a growing pool of kids. So Jesse, why don't you introduce us to your family for a minute and talk about these policies in terms of who in your family needs protected and who spends the most money.
Sure.
Do they spend money over there?
We spend money. Yes, absolutely. And our need of capital is going to do only one thing. It's going to go up. We're going to have a greater need of capital.
What's up, Emily?
Like
Emily, if you're still watching, what's up?
So I was telling everybody that we used our first policy to pay off tens of thousands of dollars worth of
debts, right?
That we had.
Yep.
So the first policy was on me, probably for a couple of reasons. One was because I was the male, statistically speaking. That just made scientific sense, actuarial sense, to get a policy on me, to have that kind of protection on me. And in that debt journey, we paid off a good bit, but it wasn't 6-8 months later we realized we do need to expand the system. So we got a policy on my wife. So in a matter of less than a year, we'd gotten 2 policies. We're paying off student loans, we're paying off the car note, we're paying off the credit cards, all these different things.
And the money is gone.
That's right. That's right. And
you pay it off.
And 2 of our kids, so we've got 3 now, 2 of our kids would have been there for part of that journey, of course. And for sure, big picture, we knew that we wanted them to have a different starting point than us. When we got started with this concept, we did already have $50,000 worth of debt, but that did not have to be the case for them. And me getting a policy and then us getting a policy on my wife, that was just steps in that direction of setting up something different, because they do all have policies on them now, and we've got a system of these policies.
So that's what we're going to teach you, why and how we did to set that up. I've got a family of 4 kids, and we have done the same thing. We've decided to keep money growing and flowing on everybody in the family. Sometimes people think that we have bought life insurance maybe on our family members and on our kids. I think we've bought this type of specific life insurance, customized whole life for banking. We've not bought it on people. We bought it for them. Can you explain the difference? Because you can probably pick up what I'm dropping there.
I can.
Yeah.
It's 2 birds with 1 stone. At the end of the day, this product, this guaranteed product, the product that's guaranteed to grow and to compound, it does give us protection. Great. Everybody should be protected. Now, when it comes to kids, one of the advantages on that point of the 2 points that you raised is that, heaven forbid, but we don't know what future health issues or what
Of course. Right.
So if we can go ahead and get a policy that we own for them now, like you're saying, great. I mean, I certainly wish that somebody had gotten these kinds of policies on me.
Yeah. And the reason we say that is because we're going to utilize these policies for cash and growing cash flows. Jesse's always saying the word cash flows, and I love it because we are going to need money circulating throughout our family system all the time. We need it to buy stuff that we want to wear, stuff we want to eat, stuff we want to drive around in. That's what the money is for, and we need that money to have a home that's back with us. We want it to be able to actually flow out into the world, trade it for the stuff we want to need, and then flow right back home. Or as Jesse might say, recapture. Recapture the dollars that go out. I think that was a hard concept for me to understand. So I think flowing out and then actually returning is helpful to me to understand what recapture is all about. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody on our YouTube channel. If you're out there, we want to say hello. Thank you for subscribing to the Cash Compound and our TikTok audience. But we're the Banking Bros over here on our Instagram, so you can follow us anywhere. We got a lot more people right now on TikTok watching us. So if you're elsewhere, drop questions, comments, and concerns in the chat boxes. Okay, drop them in the chat boxes for us. Shout out to our Zoom audience. They're going to actually see some slides that we'll pull up in a second. And Jesse, help everybody understand that if they like, love, or learn something here, that there is a follow-up we'd like to do with them one-on-one.
Yeah, absolutely. So my experience was a little bit different. I didn't get to see this concept through TikTok or Instagram or Zoom call or on YouTube. So I got invited to a room where there was going to be a financial lecture, essentially. And I said yes. I mean, I was open to doing better financially speaking. We're in 2024. I think folks are interested in doing better this year than last year. So I saw it differently, but the next step is still the same. Once you get exposed to this idea that you can, save money and spend it at the same time, you need to talk with a professional who can actually help you in your situation with your goals, who can custom build something for you and help you get something implemented for accomplishing the things that you want to this year and next year and next year. So you need to be able to ask somebody your particular questions and glean from their best practices and their experience. I mean, you've got a decade of experience essentially to be able to share with somebody. So we want to have a free consultation call.
Okay. All of us do this process personally. So we'll walk and talk you through it. It's free. Like Jesse said, nothing to buy. And you can ask us what, when, where, how, and why. You like that? Because I'll be rhyming stuff.
I know.
Okay, very good. Click that link in the bio, ladies and gentlemen, and get on our calendar. And you can watch our video from that link as well. That's how you want to prep for our first conversation. What's up, Willie? Appreciate you being out there. Shout out to our folks on the Cash Compound TikTok page. Okay, Jesse, why don't you start walking us through what we like to call father figures, all right? I know this is kind of a fresh set of slides for you right here, but we're still going to turn things over to you. And while you get to our greatest visual on how this product works, the Save and Spend system, I'll help our TikTok viewers and our YouTube viewers see it too.
Fantastic. So the idea behind this concept of father figures is, again, I saw this idea in a room for the first time in 2015, and I realized that I had a starting point that could look very different from our children's starting point in life, meaning when they were ready to get married, when they were ready to go out to college, when they were ready to start a business, when they were ready to get their first home. They didn't have to have the same starting point that I did of tens of thousands of dollars in debt from that conventional route where the average American has everything financed. So this idea of the father figures is setting up this legacy plan, this implementation of intergenerational acting and thinking and planning to help that next generation have that different start, that better start. So some of the slides are going to be pictures of my 3 children. They're going to be some information on premiums that we've picked, that we chose to pay into these policies. So you, for your purposes, whether you're getting a policy on yourself or a child, you're going to pick the premium amount. We don't tell people their premium amount. Now, we could always reverse engineer. You could tell me a goal that you want to accomplish in the next 12 months, or you can tell me a goal that you want to accomplish in the next 5 years, whatever it is that you're doing. And we structure policies to help you with what it is that you're wanting to do. But for these children, I've got a picture for each. We've got a policy on each of our children at this point. They're actually a few years old. We've had policies on our kids for 4 years now, because once we got the first generation, which would be me and my wife, covered and protected, step 1, but also with these high cash value policies that we're using for things like paying off debts or financing family vacations or real estate deals or whatever we've done with our policies, we did want to get policies on each of our children. So essentially, let me break down these 3 tiers of this father figure paradigm, this approach to legacy, okay? Tier 1 is the breadwinner having that protection and having that high cash value policy for the things that you're going to finance as a household. Now, this doesn't have to be anything fancy. When you're getting that first policy, it doesn't have to be for high-scale real estate investing. It could just be that you just finance what you're already doing or going to do as a family, as a household. 2 birds with 1 stone. You get guaranteed protection. You get guaranteed access to cash value for the things that you're just going to do as a household.
Right, right.
And
so
then,
it's literally where we're saving our money. We're going to save our money there so we have a pool to finance purchases. I think I just struggled so much, Jesse, when I first started hearing the word finance too early. I didn't know what that meant.
Well, and I know why you would say that, so go ahead and tell folks why it was that way.
So finance to me always meant borrowing someone else's money, and I thought of the money that I could spend because I was not a third-party finance guy, wasn't borrowing from third-party people. Dave Ramsey guy, cash buyer, and things like that. I didn't realize that actually paying for something, even in cash, was financing. Okay, instead of paying a bunch of payments, I had one payment. It was my cash payment and my money. So we're actually, when we say finance, it's what we're saying for a little bit more of a clear baseline vernacular. It's the pool of money from which you buy things from.
Yeah.
Okay. Financing means that we have to spend money from a pool from somewhere. And where is that pool? Why do we use that pool? How does that pool of money work?
Yeah. I don't think that our cash as king folks have necessarily, unless with conscious thought, wrapped their minds around every time that they put money under the mattress or in a savings account or whatever it is that they're storing money for the meantime until they have what they want for what they want to spend or buy, that they don't see that as payments. It is a payment.
It is a payment.
It's just
crazy.
to yourself.
So, ladies and gentlemen, are you a cash buyer? Put C in the chat if you're a cash person. If you are, okay, Amy, we're going to get there. We're going to get to the visuals here in just 1 second. Also, Ryan, if you're able, maybe you need to switch over. We're showing our Zoom audience. Maybe you need to show them our screen. Not sure how to do that. Appreciate shout out to our producer for this. Okay, if you're a cash buyer, great. Jesse, keep moving on here, and I'm going to help Amy and everybody else understand with the visuals.
Absolutely. And again, this is my experience. So I got the first policy on me. We got another policy on my wife. So that's tier 1. That's getting tier 1 coverage and tier 1, access to a place to privately store money and use it from. Tier 2 is the children. That's the next best step. Of course, is if we can give them a 20-year head start on me getting started at 30. I think I was 30 when I got my first policy that was built this way. I want to speed that up for them for sure. So we got a policy on each of our children. And when you're there, of course, it makes me think of that saying of, when would you like to plant a tree? Well, 30 years ago would be the best answer, right? If we'd have planted the tree 30 years ago, but today's the next best time. So when it made sense for us, we grew and scaled. Yeah, grew and scaled our system. Anyway.
Grew in scale or grewed and scaled? Yeah, that didn't sound right.
Yeah.
Okay, but why are we doing this? But sorry, I thought you were through this. Keep going. We got to get to the visuals.
But we've got policies on each of our children, on my wife and myself, and we've actually gone beyond that, and that's why we have this tier 3. So tier 1, breadwinner and spouse. Tier 2, children, possibly grandparents.
Right.
Might behoove us to get a policy on grandparents. then you could experience a tax-free windfall from the previous generation to the current one. Pretty powerful right there. And then you could see if you got business partners in life or other folks that you have an insurable interest in, not just anybody, but an insurable interest.
Okay. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. So here's our 3-cup setup. So here's what it looks like. Whether it was me getting my first policy or us getting policies on kids, we pick the premium amount that we're going to fund this system, that we're going to fund this entity with. Okay. It's going to go into cup number 1. That's your premium payments for the whole life. All right. So here's something really particular, but it's a properly structured whole life policy with a mutual company that pays dividends. So it's a really old product. It's been around for hundreds of years, but it's got to be structured in this particular way. And that's why me and Jay do jump on all these different platforms so that we can tell you it's got to be this product, but it's got to be built a particular way, and it should be custom built for you. But your input is you're deciding at what level you want to fund this asset, at what level you want to fund this system of yours. So you pick your premium. It automatically, because it's whole life insurance, creates cup number 3, which is the death benefit, the coverage, the protection. Okay. Now, because it's a whole life insurance policy, and again, reiterating, because we've built it this way, it's going to have this cup number 2, the high cash value. Now, that is the amount of capital that has been compounding for you, that has been growing for you, that you can access. When I say that we chose a premium in 2016 to be able to pay for that first policy, yes, it created cup number 3, a death benefit, just in case something happened to me while I was still young. We wanted protection and coverage for the family, sure. But what we were really doing was using this system to be able to get out of debt, recapture that money, recapture that interest that was going to the student loans, that was going to the car loans, that was going to the credit cards, get that back in our system, plus extra, plus interest, and grow and scale that, and grow and scale that.
Okay, so Jesse, now that we've got our product set up, once again, let me recap, ladies and gentlemen. Cup number 1 is where we're giving our hard-earned dollars, or maybe passive residual dollars. However, you earn money out there. We're buying something with those dollars, and it is a whole life insurance policy from a mutual insurance company that we structured on purpose for cash value. Okay, so we're going to have this pool of money to use. That's what we've got right here. So everybody understand? Put a thumbs up in the chat, heart, like, and make sure you know that cash value, everybody here on Zoom, cash value is how much of the pool that we can utilize without messing with our money. You guys got it? Our money still has a security of owing us a death benefit on this policy. Cash value is how much of that pool the insurance company says is liquid or equity ready to roll. Okay, now, Jesse, let's go finance something. Let's go buy something. How do we use this policy for this?
Perfect. And I appreciate the thumbs up, Michelle. So when you've picked your premium and you've got your system in place, you can immediately access, and my definition of immediately is within 30 days. So within 30 days of you setting this system up with us, you can access that high cash value to do the things that you're going to do. For me and my wife, we picked a premium amount that made sense for us, that was going to be aggressive enough to allow us to jump on those debts the way that we wanted to, but it was also reasonable enough for us to do based on our current cash flows at that time. So we made a policy loan from the cash values of that policy, began paying off debt. So we went to our smallest credit card and maybe the next smallest thing. We did a debt snowball. Debt snowball is not new to so many people.
Sure, right.
Right. The difference here is that you're doing this with an asset. So this is a private asset that you own where you're experiencing compounding in cup 1 while still able to access the cash value from cup number 2 to go out and pay off a debt or two. Now those payments that used to go to the JP Morgans, the Wells Fargos, where can they be redirected? Well, they can be redirected back into your system. Plus, you could put in some interest that you otherwise would have been paying to those folks. Put that back in your system as well. And you keep paying your premiums. The system keeps compounding. It keeps growing. You're recapturing money that used to go to other people. And it can build up, of course, to the next item on your list, the next item on your debt snowball, the next item. And when it's all said and done, you can get those debts paid off just like we did all while still paying that same set premium that you did. That didn't change on you. It's guaranteed to stay the same. The death benefit grew the whole time. We're going to be able to render a greater cash flow tax-free to our heirs and beneficiaries when we do pass. But we've been recapturing money that whole time back into this private system instead of it bleeding out.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, on TikTok, I'm answering a few questions out there. We've got some misconceptions. Okay, Habib is asking, let's get to the numbers rather than elaborating, please. We built it for you. Don't worry. That's right there in the video. Remember, Habib, you and I are going to pick different premium amounts. You're going to pick a number that works for you. I'm going to pick a number that works for me. And my number, even if we pick the same premium, my number of what buys and cash flows is going to have slight differences because it's built on two different bodies, my body and your body. Okay. So we're going to start out at a very, very similar number, and we've got that built into the video. I'm telling you again, and don't worry, we're going to show you some numbers here on the Zoom call. So we'll actually call out some numbers on the smallest policy you can basically possibly have, because we bought this policy on babies in our house. We're going to show that to you. So we'll read you off the numbers here in a second. Okay. So I appreciate the question, but if you have a little bit of patience, we got a couple people in the different places and you can't see these numbers. Okay. Dog Beans says, don't buy an IUL. I concur.
Amen.
I concur. Invest in tax. Oh, we're not investing. We're talking about where we save money. Dog Beans may be gone at this point. It was a couple of minutes ago, but ladies and gentlemen, reminder, this is insurance. Jesse, insurance, by definition, is not the same as that other I word he just said. Can you help him understand? Dog Beans needs to know that we didn't say invest in anything.
Right. So traditionally speaking, insurance is just mitigating risk. Risk on your car, risk on your home burning down, whatever the case happens to be. Here, it's on our person, it's on our body. We're getting insurance on our life. And that can be guaranteed with a whole life policy. Whereas with investments, you're exposed to risk. You're purposefully and intentionally exposing yourself to risk. You're risking losing money. You might gain, sure, but those are two different categories.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what Jesse's trying to say for those of us who didn't go to college is insurance is not an investment at all. Okay, that was the correct answer, and so was what I'm saying to you if you didn't hear it.
So I gave the college answer?
Yeah, 100%, and that's legit. Some people out there went to college. Or, I mean, Dog Beans with a Z on the end. I don't know if that's a college name or anything. That might just be a basement name. You know what I'm saying?
No comment.
Okay.
On people's
But, ladies
handles.
and gentlemen, you've got to understand that we're talking about whole life insurance. We're not talking about an investment. We're talking about whole life, meaning not IUL. For those of you who don't know the difference or didn't hear it, we are not suggesting IULs can be used at all for the infinite banking concept. What we're doing, we're spending these dollars in cash from day one, not an investment.
Guaranteed fashion.
Here we go. You guys understanding out there? So, Jesse, now take us to why we're using a whole life insurance policy from a mutual company. I've got some visuals for you, and Jesse's got stuff for you on the computer here.
Yep, not the only one, but one of the great reasons of why folks would pick a mutual life insurance company is because by owning one of these policies, by owning one of these whole life policies, you're part owner of that mutual life insurance company. So two types of companies: stock company, mutual company. Mutual company, just by owning a policy, you're part owner. So that means you get to enjoy from the profitability via dividends. So when that company has a positive financial experience in a given year, and all the companies that we use and that we personally own policies with, they've had a positive financial experience for all the years consecutively, 100 at a minimum. So 100 minimum years, they've had a positive financial experience. And those dividends are paid out to the policy owners. So that gives us more to be able to dump into our premium cup, which grows all
but
these
they never
other
miss.
different numbers.
For those of you who just saw that, Jesse missed. But don't worry. Those dividends, ladies and gentlemen, can be directed into your premium cup or your paid up editions or your red cup one, for those of you out there, which is going to only grow higher death benefits and more cash value. Say yes if you'd like other people to pay money into the system that is compounding for you. Habib says red solo cup. You didn't think I knew that country song, did you?
You surprise me sometimes when it comes to the country songs.
Habib, appreciate it. That's correct. So we're going to tell the insurance company when you have a positive year, which is every year in the policies that we use and the companies that we work with. Just go ahead and dump my dividends, my profits as a company partial owner. Dump them on top of my dollars.
Here's the thing, though. Cool. Just because you know the song, do you know who sung it?
Yes, Blake Shelton. No.
And you said that so confidently.
Harry Connick Sr. Right?
I'm not going to correct you.
Tex Winters.
I'm just laughing.
I don't know. Perry Como. I don't know. What happened to Finance Bros? What's up, E? We have 2 TikTok accounts. Appreciate you being back.
Finance Bros?
Yeah, he's seen us somewhere else, and he's here to troll or whatever. So, nope, we still exist. That one has a whole lot more followership on it. Remember, whole life insurance is a guaranteed contract. So, if you think it's a scam, I guess you think you're going to last forever, or they just won't pay out because everything else is in the paperwork and has always worked for the last 200 years in your state. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go into Michelle, do you understand everything? So Michelle is out there. E472 is out there on our Zoom. Any questions and concerns about that? Our dividends go into the premium cup 1, buy more death benefit for us, and cash value is more equity we have in that blue cup death benefit. Cash value is what we use, lose, or abuse anytime we want. And we have an unrestricted repayment access, even though Jesse says we should probably recapture the dollars that leave. I agree with that, but it's up to you. You can become your own banker. I think this is a good time for a little commercial on BYOB, Jesse. We got a book there. You want to show us?
Yeah, we do have a book. So when I saw a live presentation in 2015, and then I got on the phone and spoke with someone like us that could answer my questions, I was pointed towards the original source material, which is this book called Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. You can find it on Amazon and on his website, but Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. It's essentially the manual for this concept. I probably reread it at least once a year, even since. So we've been implementing this concept for the better part of a decade on 6 policies. We pay significant premiums for us every single year, and that's grown and scaled. And yet I'm still impacted by the simplicity of the message because while being simple, it's still deep. There are levels of implementation when it comes to utilizing this system.
Okay, so let's talk about one of those levels. We talked about how to do this for yourself, why to do this for yourself, but the focus today as dads is actually father figures. That's an S on the end with a $sign, like father figure.
I like that.
Maybe I was like, it could be a Z, like
that makes
dog beans, but
sense.
My man,
to me.
Dollars make sense. Let's get into it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Jesse's family here, and if you can join us on the Zoom in a future time, you're going to see some of these visuals. But Jesse, walk and talk us through just for a minute, introduce us to your family, and then show us how we can get a policy started on a child.
Sure. So this is me, my wife Lauren, our children Jacob, Josiah, and Lana. They are 10, 8, and 4 as of this year. That's wild for me to say out loud. And again, just thinking back, Lana wasn't even born when we started this concept. Our second son had just been born. So the same year that our second son was born, I just read that book, Becoming Your Own Banker, for the first time. So they've been here for the majority of
your banking experience,
this paradigm, this whole experience. Right. Absolutely. So they're already they're already at a different level because they know that we have policies. They know that we do things as a family with our policies, whether it's me and my boys, we've done some real estate deals together where we're going out and we're looking at properties. And so I know that's not the direction of this, but I'm just saying that's their paradigm. That's their view on finances. We are our own bankers.
Love it. All right, let's advance here and let's talk about getting a policy started. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now looking at an illustration. Okay, an illustration is not law, but it is part of your contract experience. So an illustration is where the insurance company gives you numbers. We like to whittle down their hundreds of pieces of paper into where we can find guaranteed net cash flows each and every year. And that's what we're looking at right now. Okay. Talk about the fees attached. Nicholas, reminder, the fee is your premium. If you give an insurance company premium, They promise you a death benefit. This is whole life insurance, never expires and never costs more. It'll always be there. Your dollars don't go down, backward, or sideways because it's not an investment. This is whole life insurance, okay?
All right,
Nicholas says false. Hold on. Nicholas says false.
I want to go with it. I'm not trying to derail you from there, but go ahead. Keep going. Or
okay, talk about a surrender charge. Nicholas, there is no surrender charge in whole life insurance. Nicholas, would you like me to tell you what you're talking about? You are talking, let on live. Nicholas, you are talking about indexed universal life insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody throw Nicholas some love. He thinks it's the same thing. And because so many people out there, right, double tap on the screen, give Nicholas a heart and some love. So many people out there talk about utilizing indexed universal life insurance for its cash flows or banking, which we do not recommend. It's not guaranteed. We don't know. Nicholas assumes that's what we're talking about. This is whole life insurance. Desqueeze, that's his name.
Okay.
Next dude. Desqueeze says, what if company claims bankruptcy? When's the last time?
Valid question.
It's a valid question. And can you tell me the last time a life insurance company declared bankruptcy or insolvency and the policies went bad?
No,
wait.
They can't.
No, it can't.
Could they tell you about a bank going out of business, though?
It can.
Did we hear about bank runs?
Whole life insurance companies, even whole life insurance policies at insurance companies, even if the company becomes insolvent, the policies get acquired by the next company and they never go bad. It has never happened in 200 years. 200 years, Jesse, that means we covered COVID. We covered World War II. Did we cover World War I in 200 years?
Definitely.
Did we cover the Spanish-American War?
Yes.
What about stagflation, deflation, inflation, and the Great Depression?
All those flations.
All of them, all of those flations, okay? Nicholas changed his argument to whole life insurance is trash. He just changed it to whole life insurance is trash because he can't come back with anything. He just changed it. Okay. All right. Nicholas now says whole life insurance companies are going to be outlawed in 5 states this year.
Okay. So here's my thought. We had lunch recently.
Okay, like today.
You know what I didn't ask you about lunch today? What was the fee on our lunch? All right. We paid money for the lunch. Period.
Yeah.
I wasn't concerned with what the employees were getting paid, what the owner was getting paid, what portion of that meal was due to distribution or anything. We just paid the amount that we were willing to exchange for what we wanted to eat voluntarily.
There we go.
Ladies
and gentlemen. Yes.
But they want to bring it up about whole life insurance.
Right.
We're telling you can pick your premiums
Yep.
if you want to do this. You ain't got to do it, Nicholas. You ain't got to do it. But if you want to do this, you get to pick your premiums. And it covers everything. It covers whatever the fees are, whatever the commissions are, whatever the death benefit is, whatever the cash value is.
And we're going to look at right now, once again, if you're able to join us on a Zoom in a future AMA, Thursday afternoons, 3:30 Eastern time, you're going to be able to see some things here. So what we're looking at here, Jesse's going to walk and talk us through because we got a few folks registered there. We want Michelle and
Absolutely.
E47. You know who E40 is?
No.
I believe that. Okay. It's a rapper. Okay. E47.
But I know who sang Red Solo Cup.
Okay. Very good. All right. So we're going to go to that right now. I'll walk and talk you through as best I can the numbers. Jesse will help us understand
Absolutely.
as well. So let's take a look at this illustration here for the folks who are pre-registered who can see it.
Okay. Kristen. Okay. Hey, Kristen. Kristen's answering me on the Zoom, answering us on the Zoom here. So going back to what Habib said earlier, I believe it was Habib was somebody who said something about show us the numbers. I get that. I appreciate visuals myself, and there are visuals that we use when trying to convey and illustrate. That's the key word I'm going to use right there. Illustrate the concepts that we're trying to teach about this idea. And what you see in a policy illustration is the concepts enumerated. Okay. So again, there's a contract premium amount here.
Tell us what it is.
And that is just the amount of premium that you have chosen to pay on that life. This is a child's policy. The number's $1,200. It's a small policy because it's a small person. Okay. $1,200 annually. That'd be $100 a month. Okay.
Which is really the smallest number you can. I know you guys are going to write us off, even though he just said it. This is the smallest number that you could possibly do For banking, we're doing it on a child that was literally born in 2022. Okay, these are not the numbers we're going to use for adults on our Father Figures live broadcast. These are for kids. Okay, one or two questions as we look at this. Hold on, that is still coming through. Ronald says, does my beneficiary get the savings and death benefit if I pass? Well, Ronald, first
Yes.
off, you are going to pass. Second, the easy answer is yes. Okay, Nicholas, won't talk about the fees. Reminder, the fee is the premium. This is what the price you pay for this contract to grow and cash flow guaranteed. Keep going, Jesse.
Yep, absolutely. So $100 a month, $1,200 a year, small premium, small policy, and you see the death benefit right out of the gate. That's a guaranteed. I'm just looking at the guaranteed side. There's actually that non-guaranteed side of this illustration. The right-hand side of an illustration is normally going to have the dividend, the non-guaranteed numbers. Remember your dividend cup, okay? But if we just looked at the guaranteed side, which is impressive as it is, you see immediately that there is a death benefit. You see immediately that there is a significant cash value, even on a policy of this size. So $1,200 is the premium in year one. $465. I mean, that's a little bit more than a third. That's a significant portion of the total premium that you've paid is accessible right away, even on this brand new literal baby policy with its guaranteed death benefit as well. So grow that. If that's your plan, if you have some use for $465 in that child's year of life, use that money for something for that child. Maybe it's Christmas, okay? And then following this system, you access from cup number 2 that cash value. You buy the Christmas present, whatever it is that you pay for classes. You buy them a musical instrument. We were talking about things that our kids are doing right now.
100%. Violin for my 9-year-old.
There you go. Okay. You get them a musical instrument, you get them lessons or whatever. And just like you would have paying cash or credit, it's going to be time to make payments. Well, where should you make payments when you own a private banking system? I think you should make them back to yourself. And then the interest that otherwise would have gone to somebody else, put that in your banking system, because I can tell you, you're a parent, you know, next year they're going to want more. They're going to want bigger. They're going to need more. They're going to need, their needs are going to grow. Our needs are going to grow for capital. So why not grow and scale that system? So $1,200 policy, you got a cash value, significant cash value, like 33% or so more, closer to 40% right out of the gate, accessible. And that number, guaranteed again, look at it. It grows year over year over year without fail. I like spot checking some things. So for those that are tuned in to the Zoom here, can I? You want me to use the mouse? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll use the mouse instead of just pointing. So $1,200 a year, that stays the same. Go to year 5. Year 5, you've still paid the $1,200. You've got access to about $2,500. So the age on this particular child, 5 years of age, could we think of something that we could use $2,500 for a 5-year-old? Probably.
Yeah. So in our house, by the time we're about 5, is we go to private school.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. And that costs something.
Yeah.
So here's
Yes,
where
it
you
does.
could be compounding capital like was done here for 5 years before it's that time.
Yep.
So you're getting more than double uses out of your money. You're growing and compounding here, getting a death benefit, locking in insurability, and creating a compounding pool of capital for private lessons or private tuitions.
There it is. Okay, so everybody who's looking at our numbers here, do you understand what's happening? Contract premium is cup 1, the red cup. Remember, we're doing $1,200 a year in this particular policy for this particular child, okay? We've got death benefit, that is the blue cup, and at the outset, $1,200, about $140 or so thousand plus dollars when that child passes away. God forbid they pass away right now. And then cash value was designed on purpose for about $465 right out of the gate. That's money that can be, as I always say, used, loosed, or abused for whatever, while our money is still compounding and we're still able to retain the growth and all of the features of giving the insurance company our dollars for this policy. Okay. Dave says it doesn't all turn into cash value. Yes, it does, and even way more, but we've got to get it started, Dave. Okay, so I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying you're right. Actually, we're going to have more and more cash value, and eventually, over time, a handful plus of years, depending on how we use this policy and how it was designed, cash values are going to be more than we gave them.
Right.
Because of two things, compounding and their additions of dividends every year. We are going to receive way more cash flow than we gave the insurance company, especially on a child's policy, who in theory is going to live a long time. Mm-hmm. Great point, Dave. If that makes sense to you, let me know. If you need a new question asked so we can follow up, I will. Okay. So, Jesse, continue, please. And hopefully Michelle and Kristen out there, we see you. We see you. Hope you're well on the Zoom. Ask questions in that chat if you want. Yep, shout out to everybody on the Banking Bros Instagram. Shout out to our YouTube channel, The Cash Compound. We'll keep it going.
All right, so let's jump down to year 10, next spot check. So in year 10, same $1,200 is paid in premium, and yet the cash value has grown. $5,374 is what you see illustrated here. Again, death benefit's gone up. Cash value's gone up. Again, just imagine whether you're there or you're past there, you'll get the concept. 10-year-old, access to $5,000. Is there something that you could do with that? I think the answer is yes. And let's talk about some of the benefits of what this does look like in the real world. Do we have to ask for permission when we're ready to get to cup number 2 for those tuition payments?
No, when we go to get cash value access, it is guaranteed to us, contractually able to get to cash value for borrowing power from the insurance company. No questions asked.
Right, exactly. A phone call, logging into your portal and just saying, send me a check or direct deposit it into my account, and then there you go. So being able to use this private system for the things that you want to do in life, the things that you're going to do anyway. I think that's the key. It's like kids are going to go to school anyway. Kids are going to want to have, these music lessons anyway. So it's a way to be able to do that, but at the same time benefit from all that compounding that's been going on in cup number 1, of course, like we show here. So let me go from year 10 to year 11. So year 11, we just picked to show, what if we only paid $840 in year 11? Okay. Don't have to. We could pay more. But what if we only paid? See, the policy's more and more efficient.
It is.
The longer it's in force.
It's because every dollar that we give the insurance company in premium continues to compound, only making our cash flows better every year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think I've not even been adding both these columns together. I'm realizing now while I've been sharing the illustration for those that can see it, there is that guaranteed cash value side, and then there's the paid up additions rider side.
No problem. We can do some simple math.
Yeah,
5,600 plus 3,300.
Yep. So you paid $840. Let me recap. $840 that year. You chose to just pay that minimum, $840, not the full $1,200. You could have paid the full $1,200, just $840. The death benefit went up. It's $189,000 now, and it started out at $146. I mean, $40-something thousand of growth there. We're not upset that number is going up.
Right.
It's not our main focus. We're more concerned about the cash value with a 10-year-old, of course, the compounding pool of capital that we can get access to. But we're not upset that number went up by $40-something thousand. And yet the capital that we can access in that year, I'm trying to say this particularly so you'll understand what I'm trying to illustrate. The cash value that we can access in that year, $5,600 plus the $3,300, right at
$8,900.
$8,900. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to take my time. Math.
Right. I'm going to go.
You joked about me giving the college answer earlier.
You're talking, so I can add.
But I did not go to college for math. That's for sure. But you're accessing a significant amount of cash value, and if you compare that actually with the prior year, and you only look at the growth of $2,800, I'm calling it, plus $5,300, that's right at 8. And then we're closer to 9. But what I'm showing there is that if you pull out your calculator, you're going to find that you had more access to cash value than you even paid in premium.
So I want to say that that was high school. I'm going to take it down to middle school. You gave them $840. They gave you more than that.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have got to understand and remember that every dollar we put inside premium, inside Cup 1, is going to be compounding. All right? Kenyatta, don't let it slide. Don't let it slip out there. I'm trying to let you know. When we give them dollars, it's going to be compounding on last year's money and the year before that, all the way back to year number 1. So as we give them a consistent and potentially lower amount of premium, we'll still have more and more free money to access. These are free-flowing dollars that we can get. These dollars are ready for us. These dollars are liquid. These dollars are cash value. That's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Great point, Jesse. I love to help people understand that when they look at the numbers.
Yep. Seeing the policy become more and more efficient. And that's still such a young age, an 11-year-old.
Let's go.
And the policy is already able to create more cash value than you've paid in premiums in that year.
Cash on cash return. Look at that. Where else are you going to be able to do that in a savings environment, safe and liquid? Okay, a couple more things out there. Okay, IUL is not a great financial vehicle. I think IUL is an okay financial vehicle depending on what you want it to do. And we're not talking about IULs. Every 5 minutes, Jesse, we got to be reminding them.
Sure.
This is whole life insurance from a mutual company that pays dividends. IULs are not guaranteed cash flowing vehicles for the rest of your whole life. So we're not going to be using them or endorsing them or talking too much about.
Don't own them.
Don't own them. Don't sell them. Don't help people get them around here. This is whole life insurance. What kind of rate do you get when you borrow against the cash value? Great question. Okay, so when we're borrowing money, there's only 2 ways. Let me say this first. When we use money, there's only 2 ways to buy things. Okay, it's the F word. You know I'm coming up with an F word presentation.
Oh, that's exciting.
Financing. The F word. Okay, there's only 2 ways to buy things, and we have to use the F word, financing. One, you either lose your money and its growth, its ability, or you borrow someone else's. Mm-hmm. Try to tell me how else you can possibly buy something. Remember, in this system, our money is saved, and we're spending pools of capital from the insurance company. So we call it the save and spend system. So reminder that if you spend or I spend my money, it's gone. If you save your money or pay yourself first, in this environment, it gives you a separate pool to use while yours keeps compounding. All right, now to answer your question, what kind of rate do we get? Let's say 5. It depends on the company, it depends on the time, but let's say it's a 5% borrowing rate. Okay, amortized here, 5%. While our dollars keep compounding, are staying private, still earn dividends, still keep compounding, we have a loan of 5%.
Mm-hmm. I think the big impact there when it comes to rates on policy loans is that you can, in a guaranteed fashion, always operate in a known interest environment for the rest of your life. All right, so think about the times where somebody else pulls the lever and they say, hey, interest rates are 12%. Interest rates are 23% because that's happened before.
100%.
Historically, I can't control that. You can't control that. But when you buy one of these systems, you know that you can be operating at 5% or 8% or 6.2 or 4.1.
And on top of that, you have the control. It's an unrestricted loan when you borrow it. So if you don't pay it back, your family's going to get the rest one day. If you'd like to pay it back, your system is going to work more efficiently and get better, but it's up to you. If you'd like to save your money and spend theirs on cars, on investments, on education, or the stuff we were talking about, violin lessons, you can. Your money is still safe. Okay, we're going to keep going here, but Brian says, say it's a scam and I'll invest in it. Can't do that. It's a guaranteed contract.
Please,
also, you can invest.
Don't get on my calendar.
And you can also, remember, you can invest in life insurance. Okay, how's the insurance company making money? I have a policy already. Just curious. Okay,
great question.
I'm glad you asked the second part. Okay, number 1, how many times have we died so far, Jesse? Since we've been paying all sorts of premiums.
Me personally, 0 times so far.
Okay, I've never died either. So every dollar we've ever given them, they still have. It's compounding and growing. Very few people die. And they're able to move the money like a bank. When we give the insurance company money, they have to put the money to work because they must pay bigger and future claims. So that's the 1 sentence answer. Okay, let's keep going.
Love it. So I don't know how deep you want me to go in the policy illustration.
That's good. Let's just add what we're going to see next, because I know this is kind of fresh for you.
Okay.
What we're going to see here is everybody look at the first row. Here we got Kristen, we got Michelle, and we got Kenyatta out there. We're putting in $1,200 of premium into this baby policy, literally. If you can see at the very top, I don't know if you can on ours, like the baby is
1 year old.
Well, it's actually 0 on top of this.
Right.
Too. The baby was 3 months when we started this policy. $1,200 per year we've decided to save in this environment. And when we do that, Cup 1, $1,200. Cup 3, death benefit, $146,000 with a cash value created on purpose and designed for $465. Year 1 guaranteed. Hopefully you guys can see that. Now, Jesse, I decided in this example coming up on this real babies policy to give the insurance company a little extra.
Okay, that's right. You told me you put in $400 extra on this particular policy.
Let's go.
Yep. So 400. So you have flexibility in this system when it's built this way. You have flexibility in this system, and anytime that you can put extra into your private banking system, why wouldn't you? I mean, we always joke around about you've never made too many deposits into any of your accounts,
right?
Have you? No, I've never made too many deposits. So if you want to put some extra in, and you can, there's another $400 that go in here. And of course, it creates more cash value right away. You see that in the cash value is $852 now. But not only that, because that number's bigger, it's representing today that future greater death benefit. So you see that the death benefit is not 140 something anymore. It's now 150 something $1,000 instead. So all the numbers go up, of course. We want to fit every extra dollar that we can in each one of these individual policies. This is just one, but look at the difference that extra $400 made. Death benefit up, cash value up.
So you can see on this visual that every dollar we put in is going to change every other dollar on the paper, and they all go up. And over the top of the first set of columns, we see guaranteed. Remember, these are net cash dollars. Cash value, Cup 2 is net cash. So if there were some sort of fees, and if there were some sort of commissions, and if there were some sort of taxes, you have guarantees of net positive cash flows each and every year getting better. You can see that on the paper. Now, do we have to worry about taxes?
Here? No, we got tax-free access to capital.
Tax-free access. But remember, even if there were taxes, we're looking at net cash flowing growth here each and every year. There's a new pool of money to be able to be used each and every year. Now, is there a commission from your policy? Is there an agent or a broker getting a commission from this policy, Jesse?
Yes.
And how much do you care about that if you have net positive cash flows that are getting better every year?
I'll tell you what, as a professional now, because I never thought of this, when I was the one who was
on the other side
buying these policies
on
only,
TikTok, right?
I can't remember whether it was, our third policy, our fourth policy, but like we had policies before I even wrapped my mind around, oh, hey, this is benefiting this guy that's helping me do this. Because all I was concerned about is like, I want those policies.
Isn't that crazy?
It's wild.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, out there in the qualified plan world, I always like to compare it at this point to qualified plans. Remember that when and if your qualified plans go down and go backward, someone is getting a commission on those, and it's going backward. And those are not net taxes. Your 401k will be taxed, even if it's going backward, losing value, and someone is getting commission on the pool that they apparently can't manage well. Hopefully you followed that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
I did. I've experienced those losses when I hadn't.
There you go. There you go. All right. A Roth 401k. Okay. So if you have a Roth 401k out there, obviously you're not going to have a taxable event later. But the dollars we put in that Roth today, are they going up or down in value? Why don't we answer that one? Are they going up and down? No, the dollar that we put in, not the investment. Not a game. Not a game. We're talking about practice.
Sorry for jumping ahead.
Yes. Okay. Jesse knows where I'm going.
I guess I've read the end of the book.
Right. The dollars we put in to a system that we can't get out without a fee or a penalty until we're 59 and a half are the dollars losing value to inflation. Yes or no? Somebody tell me out there. Are we experiencing inflation? Does a $2 buy less this year than it bought last year and back in 1976 at the centennial, whenever they made these? I don't know. right? They're going down in value. We're losing value in these dollars, and we have to have them locked up for a long period of time. So let's say that they earn value and in the investment.
Okay.
Let's say that they do. Now, is it guaranteed?
No, but okay.
Okay. Now, we have dollars that went down in value. Hopefully, they got a return later, but now they buy less stuff. Mm-hmm. So how did that help us?
You're talking to the wrong guy about
that.
Well,
I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, they bought a lot less. Matthew's out there. Matthew's always with us. Is Matthew one of your clients? I don't remember who's Matthew. I ask him every week that he jumps on something. Matthew, who is your coach on our team? Oh, we got somebody on YouTube as well. Remember, we're at the Cash Compound on YouTube and on TikTok today, and the Banking Bros channel is what's live right now on TikTok. Jesse, read us that question or thought out there, and we'll move to that one.
Yeah, so Jerry's talking about the charts, and then... Yeah, I can't read that name, and I speak 2 languages, but definite loss to inflation is the comment. Definite loss to inflation, to say the least, and I agree.
All right, Jerry says, can we see the charts on YouTube? Jerry, we are apologizing. This week we did not set up that technically, and you'd have to be on our Zoom. We're live there for a couple of people right now. Next week, next Thursday, 3:30 Eastern, make sure you register at thecashcompound.com. Click events at the top, and make sure you're on our Zoom, and we'll show you anything that we've got, because we are looking at the numbers
now,
here.
I have seen Jerry's name on YouTube, so appreciate you, Jerry.
What's up, Jerry? Appreciate you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look here, and we'll zoom through it. These are representative numbers here from actual policies, okay, that are exist within the Cash Compound here. So who is this, Jesse? Who's this beautiful young lady here?
This is my 4-year-old daughter, Lana.
Okay, so we're looking at premiums that have been put into a policy that we have here in the office, $3,200 of total premiums over the course of a couple of years. Cash values at this time, $1,700, and a death benefit,
$96,000. Yep.
So far. Okay. All right. How about this? Who's this, man?
This is our second son, Josiah. He's 8 years old. The premium deposit here is $6,200. Cash value $3,900, and death benefit $137,000.
So far.
So far.
So far, so good?
Well, think about this even. I like seeing this kind of stuff when you lay it out in this way, just 3 bullets like that, because cup number 1 shows what you've put in. Sure, cash value shows what's accessible right now, but then that jump, because I like looking into the future. And when I see that $137,000, I know that that's the death benefit, but another way to look at that is that's the future realization in our family. So that cash value must, in cup number 2, must eventually equal.
Oh, say that again. Say that again.
Yeah. So that cash value in cup number 2, that number must legally binding contract must eventually equal that future death benefit. Big number.
So some of you don't realize, because I sure did not. Appreciate you, Jerry. Appreciate you out there on YouTube. All right. Is that cash value is the net equity of the future benefit, which means that your cash value must rise to meet it. That's what Jesse's trying to say. So one day it'll all be liquid, and that day will either be on the last day of this person's life because they'll be that old, or it will be the day after they die because it liquefies and moves on to the beneficiaries. But that money's coming to your family no matter what.
Right.
Okay. All right. And I believe, do we have one more?
Yeah, one more.
We do.
Yep.
Yes.
Jacob, our 10-year-old, the premium here, so far, $6,200 paid there. Cash value, $4,600. Death benefit, $162.
Let's go. Okay, remember, all these dollars are going to be realized during Jacob's life in cash value growth, or at Jacob's demise one day, which we know is coming and we're prepared for.
That's exactly
going to
right.
come. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed our father figures. Little hour for you. Remember, we're live each and every week. You can click the link in the bio. Our friends out here on TikTok, you can follow the Cash Compound, where we teach you the save and spend system. We've got policies not just on us, but on our kids as well. We're teaching the next generation how to use these policies for their banking, for their financing needs. So what's up, Ryan? Appreciate you out there. All right. The Aggie family. Is it AG or Aggie? Okay. Is this an universal life? ? I.
No, it's not whatever that is.
No. Okay. I know what you're talking about. IUL is what you meant to type.
Yeah.
No, these are guaranteed policies. There's only one type of policy that's guaranteed to grow in cash flow. That is whole life insurance. IULs have ever-changing levers that you don't control, and they're not going to be guaranteed cash flowing deals for you for the rest of your whole life. Appreciate you guys. Go ahead and follow. Get on our calendar for a one-on-one with Jesse. That link is waiting for you behind door number 1. And we'll talk to you again soon on a future live event episode. Peace,
Take
everybody.
care, everybody.
Peace, you guys. Kristen, any more extra questions here? We love that you joined us. Ask away.